Welcome back. In this lesson we're going to continue our Neo-Impressionism portrait that we were starting in the last session. Remember, we're doing a portrait and we're taking small dashes or marks of color and putting them next to each other to create the kind of color that you would want. So here is where we left off. We finished the background and we're going to start working on the clothing for whatever kind of clothing you've chosen. Here you can see I've chosen to make this kind of green skirt or dress on my character, and as you proceed through this, choose what kind of base color you want. Use your color wheel or use your neo-chromatic mixing over here that you've chosen to use, and pick something that you want for the undercolor of your painting. Here's me removing my palette. Remember, you should have one personal cup of water, and then off the screen here I have a full cup that I would share at my table, one cup that I would dump my dirty water into, and I have my palette and my brushes. Now, depending on what kind of brush you're using, if you're going to use a wider one to fill more space, or if you're going to use a smaller one to make smaller marks on your paper, choose which one is going to work best for you. I suggest a bigger brush to get started with so that you can fill kind of the background area of your clothing or your costume or your whatever you're filling. All right, I mix up this color first using traditional palette mixing to fill in the area of the clothes. Now, I made this mistake and I wanted to change the line of that clothes. So you can see I just painted right over the top of it right here, and I'm going to make the paint a little thicker there so that I cover up that mistake. That's the beautiful thing about doing easel painting like this. With a thicker medium rather than watercolor, you can cover over mistakes and have a more plastic working environment, so to speak. So here it is. I'm just painting it in, and when I get done painting the whole shirt in, it looks something like that. Then I use my same colors to mix up different pure hues. So this one being a little bit more to the yellow side, and I dash it onto my shirt there to kind of follow the direction of how the shirt would be folding or the shirt would be hanging on my character. Then after I get those ones all laid in, I make another color here, this like turquoisey color that's a little similar to the background but just a bit darker, and I start dashing that over the top so that the colors can harmonize together as they are laid on there. Then I make a different color, kind of try to keep the value the same and the chroma the same, but I lay them in on top so that they're harmonizing together. And by the time I get done, notice I'm holding my brush kind of to the side, and I'm using just the thinner edge of my brush to lay in some of these more detailed strokes of the blue, kind of putting a shadow here under her arm and an edge around the side of the portrait. Okay, so once you've finished, make sure you've got a clear, nice color that you want overall, and you've got at least 3 to 4 different kind of colors overlapped on top of each other. And that is how we will finish the clothing for our manga portrait. If you have other different kinds of clothing you might need to be doing, you're going to have to think within yourself, how am I going to make the clothing believable but yet stay within the idea of Neo-Impressionist color mixing.